Well, aloha. It's Friday here in Southern California. I'm down in Santa Clarita still, enjoying the warm weather. We're not quite to summer yet. We still have a couple more weeks, but it's feeling pretty warm and summery right now. So this is like our third installment of buying a house. I did a overview, then we did a little bit of a deep dive into the first part of it, getting your pre-approval letters, trying to figure out where you want to buy a house, things in that nature. Now we're going to get serious about looking for a house and making an offer. So one of the things that you really need to do is to get an agent, a buyer's agent. So real estate buyer's agent represents the buyer who is purchasing the property in a real estate transaction. That was a pretty boring statement, but research by the National Association of Realtors has shown that when a buyer's agent is used, the prospective buyer found a home 1 week faster and examined more properties than consumers who did not use a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent works for and owes fiduciary responsibility to the buyer and has the buyer's best interest in mind throughout the entire real estate process. A buyer's agent will evaluate specific needs and wants of the buyer, locating the properties that fit their specifications. Oh, I had a little glitch there. Okay. Now, what they're going to do also is show properties in the price range that you can afford and the location that you want. They're going to assist you in viewing the properties, accompany you on the showings, preview on the properties, maybe preview the properties on behalf of you to ensure that that your needs are met. So they're not showing you stuff that they haven't seen before and that you may not like. They're going to advise you on structuring an appropriate offer so you can purchase the selected property. That's very important in today's market. It is really, there are a lot of offers on every property that's up for sale. And so they need to structure that offer so that there's a good chance that you will get the property. Then they're going to present the offer to the seller's agent on your behalf. Then if it needs to go back and forth and you need to negotiate, they will negotiate on your behalf. They will also help you select appropriate financing. Not all, we'll discuss it, but you're still, the lender is still the person who's going to help you most with the financing. And then we can provide you as your agent a list of potential qualified vendors, movers, if you need to do some remodeling, carpenters, also inspectors, people that we can recommend that have to come in and look at for pests and the overall house inspection. And most importantly, we will represent you all the way through the transaction. We will stay with you until the end. So once we've found our agent, we're going to go shopping for homes. Here we go. Now that you're ready to embark, we need to provide, it's going to make sure that it's not overwhelming. We've made sure that we've listed what we want, the neighborhoods we want, and so that we've reduced that big area down to something that's easy for us to digest and for us to go see. We use your wish list as a guide, and as we continue looking, we'll make changes to what your needs and wants are as you see properties. Okay? Then we can also set up searches for you on the MLS, and you'll just let me know how, or let the agent know how you want to receive these alerts. We can do it by email or text. So the types of homes that you're going to be looking at. There's the homes that are just represented that someone has listed and put on the market, and it's a straight up sale. There's nothing funky going on. Then there's the ones, so those are just straight. You make the offers, we get the deal done, and we're on our way. It's a single, usually single person or a couple or family that are selling the property. Now there are other sorts of properties that you possibly would be looking at. One is known as bank-owned properties. Now usually you must put a minimum of $1,000 down, unless it's a HUD property, housing and urban development property, then 500 is acceptable. And you need a pre-approval letter from your lender, like you need for everything right now. And they will not even look at you without a pre-approval letter. Most of the bank-owned properties still follow the guidelines that have a 7-day, including weekends, inspection period. So you come to an agreement on the price, and then have the inspection period to decide based on inspections if you still want to purchase the home. Now, however, not all banks follow this guideline, so you'll need to understand whether or not they're doing this or not. Some of them are sold as is with no repairs, will be paid by the seller. If you decide not to buy the home based on inspections, you should get your earnest money deposit back. All right. Now, your offer for bank-owned, your offer cannot be contingent on the sale of your current home. No contingencies are accepted. It can take 1 day or up to a month to hear back from the bank on your offer. If you're buying a bank-owned home and need to close right away because you're selling your home or your lease is up, we advise you to be prepared to have something else to live in the meantime, as a purchase may not close when you want to. However, the savings may be worth the wait. How long will it take to close is one of the questions that we get asked the most. So far, our experience is that they've closed on the date on the contract, however, not before the date. Okay? There's a general feeling out there by many buyers that the bank should just want to dump the house and go in with a lowball price, and the bank should take it. That's not the case. In many situations, they do not take much off the asking price. However, they will continue to drop the price until it's sold. Now, there's another set of houses, housing of urban development. The procedures for purchasing a HUD home are unique. However, there are certain differences from traditional home buying and experience that potential buyers should be aware of. Anyone can purchase a HUD home. Although many HUD properties are affordably priced, this is not to say it's a low-income program. And the price, style, and condition of HUD homes varies greatly. HUD homes are available exclusively to owner-occupants during the initial 10-day bidding period. After the initial 10-day owner-occupant period, investors and owner-occupants may bid and purchase on HUD homes. The initial price of a HUD property is the appraised value from an FHA certified appraiser. A buyer is free to submit bids at any price, but HUD will only accept offers that provide an acceptable return to HUD. HUD homes are sold as is. This means that when you inspect the property, what you see is what you get, and that's what you're buying. HUD does not guarantee the condition of the property and makes no warranties regarding the condition of property. It's extremely important for you to know that the property is being sold as is. So, short sales. That's when the home sales price or listed price is less than what the owner owes on the home. Even though the owners may live in the home and have to agree to sell the home, the negotiations are with the bank that carries the mortgage. Sometimes these deals can take a while. You may not hear back from the bank for a week or more with a response to your offer. Sometimes buying these homes are better than buying bank-owned or HUD homes, as they've not been sitting vacant, and the condition is usually better. So, we found a home we want to buy, and we're going to we need to put in an offer. So the first thing you need to know is you need to have, here's some guidelines. You need to have you should have your realtor conduct a CMA, a comparative market analysis. This will compare the homes in the neighborhood and give you an idea of where the home that you want to buy stands. It's usually you look at anything that's been sold no longer than 6 months before you. And it's a changing market. So, anything beyond 6 months, it's usually not, especially in today's market, it's not very accurate. You need to ask your lender for a good faith estimate to show you what your payments will be when you purchase, and make sure this fits into your budget. We need to know if we need to ask for closing costs and prepaids to be paid for the seller. This is to go into the offer when the offer is first written. The good fund estimate will give your realtor the information he or she needs to know what to write a good offer with the proper figures. Remember, when asking for the seller to pay for these, they're getting less than the amount of the purchase of the home. So that's really not going in today's market. Maybe in a year when the market slows down, you can ask for those things, but right at the moment, that's not. There are so many offers that you need to make it as easy as possible for that seller to accept your offer. Okay. Now, once you've made the offer, they may counter you. They may counter your offer back. You do not have to accept the counter offer. Know what your top dollar is, know what your all-in is, and don't go over it, okay? Because it's going to be your house, and you don't want to get into trouble with not being able to afford it. Now, once you're into your offer, you have 3 days to put in your earnest money deposit, and that's to tell them that you are really going through with buying the home. So it has to be check or certified funds. They don't take cash. Then you have a period where you get to have the house inspected. It's usually 7 days to have the house inspected, and then you can, if it doesn't come through and it's not what you expected, you can withdraw, and you can take your earnest money with you. All right, so you should plan to be present for the home inspections. You want a home inspector to come and look at the house, and they will examine all the major elements of the home. They'll look at the roof, the structure, the exterior siding, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Now, they will, if it comes back that there are problems, you may need to call another inspector, somebody who has, the home inspector is a general. You may need to bring in a roofing inspector. They may see termites, so you may need to bring in a termite inspector. So make sure that you do all of your due diligence. If the fireplace is old, you can have a fireplace inspector brought in. You may want to check the sewer system from the house to the street, to make sure that there's no blockage. That is another inspector, a sewer inspector. So make sure all of these get done. Then we're also going to do, during that period of time, they're going to look at finalizing your loan. Your lenders is probably going to re-pull your credit. They'll check to see if you're still employed. They'll check to make sure that everything that you said previously when they did the pre-approval letter is still there. The bank will send out an appraiser to evaluate the home, to make sure that the home appraises. Now, in today's market, there is that issue of we have a tendency to, right now, everyone's paying over asking. So there is a possibility the house will not appraise. And you are going to have to come up with the money, the difference between what will be loaned and what will be the final final price. And that may be bigger. If you're putting 5% down, that may not cover the difference. Usually a 20% down will cover the difference, but just make sure that you're prepared with cash to deal with the difference between your asking, what you're going to pay, and what the bank is willing to loan. So that could be a pretty big difference between the two, and you're responsible for coming up with that cash. All right. So next week, that'll do it for right now. But next week, we'll start into what to do when you're in the closing escrow and in the end when you get the house. All right. Well, this is Jamie Barber from jamiebarberhomes.com saying, have a great weekend. I know this is a lot of information, but you're gonna need it when you're buying a house. And if you want to dive deeper personally, give me a call. All right. You can email me and I'll get back to you. It's in the comments below, jamie@jamiebarberhomes.com. Well, it's Aloha Friday. Have a great weekend and enjoy the weather. This is Jamie from Jamie Barber Homes saying Aloha Friday. Bye, y'all.